You ready? You ready to remember, Barry?
Oh, I remember.
I remember.
Hey, we're supposed to kill you, remember?
I remember. So, I just had this crazy idea of me and Rob just sitting here and just member bearing about the original Command and Conquer, and maybe even doing the other ones if we feel up to it.
We're doing the first one, or we're doing the ant missions for Red Alert?
Let's start out chronologically.
Okay.
It's like, so this is not going to be anything fancy or official. We're just going to talk about our personal experiences with this game and random thoughts on
I've
it.
actually never really played on a PC.
Yeah, Rob had a hamster-powered PC for the longest time.
No, but even this game I've never played on a PC. I've only played it on Nintendo 64. Because remember they had it for that.
Damn. But I remember me telling you about it in grammar school. We were just wee lads.
We were at the walkathon.
All right, so to start off, how did I come across this game originally? So back in the day, before the internet, the only way to find new games was either to randomly buy one or to try out demo discs.
Which were sent to your house sometimes.
Sometimes they were. I don't remember where it came from, but one demo disc came that had about 75 games on it. I'll try to put up a picture if I remember. And I was bored one day, and I just went through every single demo. I was going down the list of every demo on this disc. And I booted up this game that said Command and Conquer. I was like, oh, that sounds good. And when I did, this basketball, at least what I thought it was, it looked like a basketball logo to me.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thoughts were, oh, it's a sports game. This is going to suck. And then the logo, I think, if I remember correctly, exploded. I was like, wait, what? And the intro movie played. I was like, ooh, this looks good. And that was my first introduction to strategy games for the most part on PC, if not just overall.
There weren't many. I mean, this is the beginning of home games of this kind, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, there'd been Doom and there'd been Duke Nukem and Wolfenstein.
First-person shooters, but
yeah,
not too many strategy games.
But yeah, but that pretty much those games pretty much exhausted the category of
what you
non-simplistic games that you could play at home anyway. You know, like, so that would exclude shit like Minesweeper and Solitaire and other things like that.
And now, on the off chance that somebody's actually listening to this, don't worry. I know there was technically a prequel to Command and Conquer called Dune 2000, but it sucked, so shut up. Yes, I played it.
It was an abortion.
I wouldn't go that far. It literally is the same engine as Command and Conquer, just not nearly as refined. And Command and Conquer is not a refined game for the most part. So anyway, this mission pops up. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. What's this weird boxy vehicle? What does it do? And then suddenly it pops up into a building. I'm like, you can build bases and command troops? It blew my fucking mind as a kid.
It was 21 years ago.
The demo disc came with 3 missions. I don't remember the numbers, but there was the original first mission from the GDI. There was one mission where it was a standard build your base, harvest materials, go destroy the other base mission.
Yeah.
Except in the demo disc, it started you off with like a bunch of mammoth tanks and heavy medium tanks. Just to give you a feel of what the game was about.
They definitely had better tanks at the GDI in the first one.
Yes.
Then they started mixing and matching.
And the third mission was a commando mission, which blew my mind again because
that was left-handed.
the mission starts, and you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with one unit? And then it insta-kills every infantry. I'm like, oh.
Goes slower, though, than you're comfortable with. That's why when you get to the Navy SEALs in Red Alert 2, you're like, whoa!
Yeah, right?
They mow them down. Or even Tanya in the first Red Alert. Because she's just the equivalent of the commando, but her ability to destroy infantry is way faster with the commando for him to use his sniper rifle, which is...
I thought he was using like a silenced pistol based on the animation.
Maybe.
But it was slow.
Yeah, in any event, it was like a bolt action weapon.
Like, he would shoot a guy and then gloat about it before shooting the next guy who's shooting at him. That's actually something that bugged me about the original games. If you blew up a building with the commando,
He couldn't help but be snide about it.
no, I thought that was lovely. It's the fact that whenever you blew up a building, there was a decent chance that there was going to be infantry spawned from that destroyed building who would hit you instantly.
Yeah.
So on the missions where you start off with nothing but a commando, you took damage no matter what. Sometimes that was bullshit. That got you killed. But either way. So what's your first memory of me telling you about Commando?
We were on the walkathon.
The walkathon?
Yeah, where we would just leave class in the afternoon to walk for, like, cancer or something. I don't know.
See, I don't remember that. I remember trying to... The only memory I actively have about telling you about Command & Conquer was after I borrowed it from my godfather's son, who I had described to it while visiting. And he was like, oh, yeah, I played that. It was alright. You want to borrow? I was like,
You don't know what you're doing! But I'll take it. Yeah, I'll check it out.
I remember trying to describe the Nod campaign videos to you. The only memory I have is describing on when Kane shows up for the first time. And I was doing a terrible job of basically one guy's talking to you, telling you about how, oh, not even Kane knows about this mission. And then this pistol shows up on the side and blows his brains out.
Yeah, Seth.
You remember his fucking name?
We watched it a couple weeks ago.
I don't remember his name. Either way. That's my first memory of telling Rob about the story, at least, of the Nod Command & Conquer. Because I do prefer the GDI myself, but the Nod storyline was just so much more interesting.
Oh, it's tons more interesting.
The good guys are just kind of stereotypical white knights.
You know, yeah, GDI, UN, peacekeeping force.
Especially now that we're older. Definitely even more vanilla.
Cooler weapons, though.
Yeah.
But the Nod had bizarre technology.
Yeah, they're the ones who are gonna like stab you in the side and then run away and wait for you to bleed out a bit. GDI was the guys who were gonna show up at your front door with like half the country's army and be like, "Sup." So you never actually played the original except on N64?
I don't think I played it. I don't think I played the original one on any PC or Mac platform.
Well, 64 was basically a port of the PC version. It looked a little different, but
yeah, you can use Game Genie on it though, or Game Shark.
So what was I'm curious because I played it, but I did not much because it seemed like a very sub.
Well, it couldn't have been much improved if it was even improved at all.
It looked slightly, sort of ish better. That's the most I could say about it.
There are so many problems in terms of your unit's intelligence. They can get stuck doing an inane task, like in a spot between two rocks and never get out, or it can be forced to fire on a certain thing forever and never stop doing it.
Like you couldn't stop it, or it
wouldn't stop. Yeah.
Because Force Fire was in the PC version. I remember you could use that to destroy civilian buildings if you were the good guys, and sometimes you get a money crate for it.
Money crate, eh?
For whatever reason, West would like to hide money crates inside of churches.
Yeah.
It's like if you see a church, blow it up. This is probably a crate of money hidden in it. If I remember correctly, I think the N64 version also came with the additional missions, the covert operations.
It had 2 covert operation missions, where you can't call in airstrikes to pave the way for your base, but there's a small Nod base with power plants and a barracks surrounded by SAM sites, and you drop the commando gets dropped in, he takes out the SAM sites, and then he starts taking out the base, and then you could start using your airstrike.
And then I think you destroy the power plants so your MCV can show up.
Yeah, on the shore.
I don't remember the mission name, but I remember the mission itself.
Mm-hmm. It's very similar to a lot of missions.
Yeah. It always bugged me how the GDI guard tower was basically worthless.
Yeah, it's dog shit until you get to the advanced guard tower.
Yeah. It's like as soon as a tank shows up, the guard tower is just buying time. Nothing more. Because, like, if you're playing the computer, the moment you hit something, it starts auto-repairing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, human player, you hear the message, your base is under attack. It takes you a full couple seconds to be like, all right, where am I being attacked? To actually make the action to start repairing it.
Repairing.
Unit repaired. But yeah, the story. I mean, the first time I booted up the game, that first mission, because it only gave you 3 GDI missions, nothing more in the demo. And is it General something?
Shepard.
Was it Shepard?
Yeah.
Are you picking this up? Good. Establish a beachhead. It's like, oh, he's talking to me. And he's like, this is. I figured, it would be a movie where like he's talking to some character. It's like, no, he's talking to you. You are the commander. You are playing an active role in this story. And just at the time, it blew my fucking mind. Because like there have been video games where the protagonist is silent, so on his character,
Like Link.
exactly, Link, classic.
But the whole his name is Link because he's supposed to be the link between you and the game.
But Link doesn't talk.
No, and that's why.
So, naturally, when people talk and he doesn't respond, you kind of take his role. You are Link. Mm-hmm. They're not talking to Link, the character Link. They're talking to you, Rob, as Link.
Ding, 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 ding. Bink. What's behind those glasses?
Inside joke. The box art is pretty fucking badass, too.
Yeah.
Just a guy wearing goggles watching explosion.
And it's all black and white except for the explosion.
That's true. That's very true. A couple variants of the cover. I think this is pretty much the main one.
Did
the gold version, PlayStation 1 version, which is an atrocity.
Yeah. PlayStation was very crappy.
N64 did get a version, but it was very, let's just use the word unique.
Slow. And remember the next screen.
So I'm trying to remember. What the fuck was Kane's deal in the original Command & Conquer? No, not Kane's Wrath.
He didn't become an alien until way later.
This is all new. Person of the Year Kane. This is terrible, and I love it. You know what? We're gonna keep this the photo for now. Kane's a very interesting character. He's a very charismatic villain. It's like, I think in the original, if I recall, his gimmick is like world domination, but not because he wants to be the boss. He kind of keeps it mysterious.
It's kind of a religious thing, and apparently, like, they're fringe terrorists even compared to many terrorist groups. So they back a lot of weird.
That's original Kane.
They back a lot of weird terrorist groups that have multiple different even conflicting agendas, like the Fist of Allah party. I remember this from the booklet. Like,
really?
Yeah, it says
so basically anyone who was anti-GDI, they were either affiliated with or supported indirectly.
Yeah.
Just to help debase the GDI, which is supposed to be the UN, basically.
And they were in possession of an unusual amount of wealth somehow.
Yeah, it's never, at least at the time, it's not known how they came about.
Yeah. But apparently they're pretty ancient.
So, in the world of Command & Conquer, for those who don't know and are listening to this for some reason, there's a resource. It is the resource. It's called Tiberium.
Oh, okay. And Tiberium figures into the religious mission of Nod.
Yeah.
He feels it's the future somehow. Kane feels it's the future.
Just need to find a decent image. You know what? This is going to fucking deal with it. That's the best we got right now.
Well, that's not what it looks like in the first one, though.
So, original Command & Conquer Tiberium basically is this weird crystal that crashed in what? I think the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because I'm misspelling it.
It's Tiberium, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it said Tiberian Sun earlier, didn't it? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Tiberium.
Well, maybe, okay.
Or maybe it's both. I don't
the
know.
name is Tiberian Sun, the name of the game, but maybe I think the mineral is called Tiberium.
Well, either way, it's this weird green crystal that crashed on Earth in the 90s. And basically, whatever organic matter is around it, it assimilates to create more of itself.
It's poisonous.
Yes, it's
Unlike the,
highly radioactive.
Unlike
and
the ore in
Red
Red
Alert.
Alert. But yeah, if you're a StarCraft player, this is the combination of Vespene,
You must acquire more Vespene gas.
Vespene gas,
And the crystals.
and the minerals.
Yeah, they are green, so yeah, that's not a bad comparison to make.
No, but no, it is because it's just that you in StarCraft you have to use both of those things, whereas in this you just use one.
Although now that you mention it, this came out in 1995. This
StarCraft was 96, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought it was 99.
Okay, it was a much improved game. You're writing Warcraft though.
Yeah, I know.
Warcraft came first, obviously, right?
True. I'm thinking of back to
Ooh, the Lost Vikings, great game.
Oh man. I'm thinking back to the age of
You spelled Warcraft.
when strategy games were the bread and butter.
Okay, so Warcraft, the first one was pre Command and Conquer.
So the two big backbones of PC strategy gaming were Warcraft and StarCraft. There were other variants, but these were the two most
Warcraft and
well-known
StarCraft
games.
were both Blizzard.
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
when they
like,
were improving one of those, they were improving the other. Like
in the
as they made
time
one.
of the original Command and Conquer,
Yeah.
there was Warcraft
and-
and there was Command
Yeah,
and
so
Conquer.
there was Blizzard and then now there's Westwood.
Yeah, Tides of Darkness came out in 95 around the same time. So
That was a good game. So much improved. The second one was
much improved,
a
but
vast improvement over the first.
when you compare it to Command and Conquer, which one do you really side with?
Apples and oranges.
True, but if you had to pick one, because I like Warcraft 2, but it always felt like both sides.
Are we picking between Warcraft and Command and Conquer? Or like StarCraft?
No. The original Command and Conquer, 1995.
Versus the original Warcraft?
And you know what? Tides of Darkness was out in 95, so we're going to count it. So if you're counting both Warcrafts, which, again, my personal opinion is...
Those two games, I prefer Warcraft 2.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I prefer Command and Conquer personally, mostly because both sides were very unique.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Warcraft 2, both sides are near identical except for a handful of spells and aesthetics. You know, an orc warrior and a footman have the same stats, the same
And that
attacks,
shouldn't be if it's an
speed.
orc and a human.
Yeah.
But I think
It felt very vanilla.
Warcraft was way cleaner. The gameplay was smoother.
True.
Way better
second
graphics.
The second one.
The first one you just can't. That it's like the first 2 seasons. Of the
You
Simpsons.
had to click on a command and then do it.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? It's not even hotkeys. There might have been hotkeys. I don't remember. But I vaguely...
Hotkeys weren't even a thing then.
It's like, move here. It's like, why can't I just click him and then tell him to go here?
Yeah, well, with the second one, that's how they improved it.
Second one did a lot better. I did like it. But, alright, so Rob prefers Warcraft 2. I prefer the original Command and Conquer. That's fine. Diablo. So yeah, Tiberium. I think it's insinuated that Tiberium is how Cain gets a lot of his wealth. Because he somehow knows how to harvest it more efficiently.
Because he's an alien.
Yes. But we don't know this.
And he's trying to phone home.
Well, he's not... I don't think he actually is the Skrin that show up in the third one.
There's some quote from him floating around on the internet, and I don't know which game, but he says something like, when I first got here, you were living in mud huts or something like that.
He's... The biblical story of Cain and Abel, he was supposed to be insinuated to be that Cain. The person who did the first
Or it's
murder.
more that Cain is him.
Yeah.
Because he came to Earth and he was
Back
just an
then.
alien.
Except for the fact that when the aliens actually do show up, these motherfuckers, Cain's like, I don't know who the fuck these are. Well, yeah,
Not my president. Not my aliens.
I take that back. If I recall, Kane actually wanted to summon these guys here. I forget why, but he wanted to. But he's not them.
The Dyrusians or
The Scrin. Scrin, I think. Good game, though. Good game. Kane's Wrath, personal opinion, the pinnacle of Command and Conquer before everything went to shit.
What year was this?
3? Oh, good question. ...2008.
Okay, so this is that was the same year as Red Alert 3 though, and Red Alert 3 was pretty damn good.
If you had to compare the two, personally, I think Kane's Wrath takes the bacon. It makes the bacon
better?
and it serves it to you on a nice, big, juicy cheeseburger.
I haven't played it.
I know. We'll change that one day. Red Alert 3 is okay, but...
Yeah, I mean, the Red Alert games consistently improved or changed in some interesting way.
This is true. And they also embrace the cheese. I mean, they're all cheesy, but Red Alert, like, brought a giant cheese wheel to the
Yeah,
party.
no, with all the ethnic stereotypes and accents.
Command and Conquer was cheesy, but it was a serious kind of cheese. Like, oh, this is the fancy cheese from Europe. Red Alert brings the giant fucking wheelbarrows. Like, yeah, I'm just back from ShopRite.
Is this cheddar? I don't know.
Who cares? It's cheese.
Great.
Where were we? We were talking about Tiberium for some reason.
The Scrin. We were talking about how
Oh yeah, that's why.
Command and Conquer 3 was the pinnacle, and then it sunk after that. That was 8 years ago.
If I remember correctly, the Brotherhood of Nod and Kane become powerful because they know how to harvest Tiberium more efficiently than the GDI.
Yeah, apparently it explains their awesome wealth despite their relatively small size.
And this little, well, wherever the fuck it went, that green crystal that I showed you, basically it absorbs everything. It makes itself more of itself, basically.
Yeah.
And it's highly radioactive, but it's also very easily refined into other things.
Yeah, and that's also, you can't bring your infantry into the Tiberian fields, otherwise they die pretty soon. Do they damage units too?
No, only infantry.
Okay.
So basically, this magic mineral makes more of itself by default, and you can make that into fuel for power plants. You can make
actually, you just
and
bring it
tanks.
to the refinery and you have money after
But
that.
in the lore of the game,
Yeah.
in the detailed lore, they say how like industrial companies want it because you can make anything out of it, basically. As Rob was saying, in the original games, if you brought infantry into the field, it would actually injure them.
Because it was poisonous, it would kill them.
And
You left them there, they would die.
that's another unique feature, a resource that is a double-edged sword. I mean, you need it because it's your source of income, and on the same note, it'll
kill
fucking
you.
kill you. I love that feature. It's like oh, here's a gold mine in Warcraft. What is it? It's a gold mine. You're gonna get money from it, or the other guy's gonna take it.
Or the oil slicks in the ocean.
Yeah.
Captain on the bridge.
I guess what really stuck out to me was just how unique it was at the time. That's the bottom line for me. It was my first genuine strategy game experience.
Yeah. Well, these were the first.
And it was a
Popular
unique
ones.
game. I mean, I played like no, but I'm probably pronouncing it terribly. For the NES.
Or Populous for the SNES.
There we go, Populist. Or Populous.
Populous, yeah.
Those are strategy games.
My mom wouldn't let me play that for the longest time.
Why?
Or no, she got it, but she had like ideas about it, like, oh, you're God in that game or something like that. Because all she saw was that it was like overhead and you're building land.
And she thought it was like satanic or something.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember seeing this at EB Games after I discovered what it was. And every time I'd see the box, I'd be like, wow, this is so cool. But I wouldn't buy it because I already played it at the time because, like I said, my godfather's son lent it to me.
With Populous, that was a pretty interesting game. But it sucked until you got to the knight. Until you made your guy into a knight. And then you burned...
Wong.
Yeah. You can create earthquakes and fuck up the other guy's land.
So, yeah. If I remember correctly, the end of the GDI campaign is you using the ion cannon to destroy the Nod Temple, where Kane is.
Where Kane apparently sacrifices himself.
And in the Nod version, you get to nuke one of 4 places, which includes the White House, Paris, and Big Ben. And there's one other place I forget. I think it's like Italy or something.
That's not Big Ben. Big Ben's the name of the bell inside. The tower has a different name.
Oh. Well, either way, it gives you a choice of 4 places to nuke. Ugh. That too, the ending was like, wow, you beat the bad guy campaign, now you get to nuke a location and get a cinematic, but awesome at the same time.
And then Independence Day came out.
And then we became completely desensitized to such things.
Yeah. We blow up the White House every year in our culture.
I think that's about it. Is there anything else you want to add?
Actually,
anything.
In the new Independence Day, which I did not see,
Nor did I.
is the White House there? Did they rebuild it?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, fuck that movie. Well, probably. I don't know.
In terms of Command and Conquer, do you have anything else to add? Personal, detail, anything? Just the original. Even on the N64 original.
It was the thing upon which some excellent games were built later.
Well said, well said. Only thing else I can think of is similar to the ant missions I told you about years and years later that I didn't know about. Command and Conquer also had secret missions of its own, the dinosaur missions, which I didn't know about, but I think in the N64 version they're default selectable. It's been a while, so I don't remember.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 dinosaur missions where you find out dinosaurs are still alive on some island. They're not particularly exciting. It's just like the creators were bored, so they threw it in as a bonus. You just run around with some Nod units and kill dinosaurs. It's okay for what it is. Okay, well, thank you for anyone who happened to be listening. And we'll probably move on to the next game. Command and Conquer Red Alert.
The ultimate strategy game for your PC. You remember that?
No, I don't.
In the advertisement.
Give it a few seconds. The buffer.
You remember the kids playing the game with at his PC and the general saying, like, "Oh, you have miscalculated," and he's like, "Who is behind all this?"
What?
And it's
I don't
some
remember
kid
that.
at his. You can probably find it right now if you wanted.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Commercial? I don't remember any commercials for the Command and Conquer games.
That second one.
Really? This would be a nice way to end it, wouldn't it? Oh, man.
This is one of them. There were like 2 or 3.
On television?
I don't think they were on TV.
It's so 90s.
Command and Conquer Red Alert. The ultimate strategy game for your PC. Take no prisoners.
There's awesome.
There's one where there's like a vaguely foreign general, and he doesn't sound Russian. He sounds German, but they're not fighting the Germans in that.
Is this one?
No.
Oh, wait, that's Red Alert 3.
Yeah, because he's the vice.
Why did they get David Hasselhoff?
He's the vice president in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Here we go, commercial 1.
Here we go.
Encountering extreme resistance! Requiring artillery support! Deploying times now.
I think he's supposed to sound Russian, but he doesn't.
Oh, man, the cheese.
You have miscalculated.
Wow.
I feel like that kid was in every single.
They told us nothing about the
thing
game.
in the 90s.
They told us nothing about the game.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, we'll be talking about Red Alert, the original.